Okay, a lot of issues going on right now. Okay, so I don't know if I am on um YouTube, but it looks like I'm streaming on Facebook. I'm like streaming on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I've never done that before. I've always only streamed one or the other. So bear with me. I apologize. I'd rather stream only on one platform, but a lot of you are in different platforms, so I want to support all that so I could reach out to people. But I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. If you're on YouTube, please let me know if you are seeing this. Oh, sheesh, man. It's difficult. Um, hmm. I wish there was a way to view it, whether or not it's working. Huh. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Because nothing's popping up on my YouTube stuff. Hmm. And it says it's live, but I don't see it. Oh, man. Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you, John. Jeez. Okay, now everything's popping up. Everything's popping up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Sorry for all the delays. What's up, everyone? My name is Sherwin, and this is something new. Something new that I'm trying out. So, right now, I'm streaming for Facebook and YouTube. I'd rather stream on one platform, as I said, but I want to reach out as many people as I can. And so, basically, I've been talking about doing streaming for quite some time, and the idea is to, if I had like just a bunch of updates, I'm just gonna talk about it while I stream. That way, I can also chat with people and just hang out with people because time doesn't match up. Time time doesn't match up with people I want to hang out with, people I want to talk to. So this is one of those things that I try to just do. That way, if people do have time, they just pop into the chat. And also, there's a bunch of updates I wanted to share with you all, and not have to go through the whole overhead of recording, of editing, and it's just I just wanted to talk. So some of you, I want to start off by saying like some of you, I've shared that um, Abby, my wife, uh, was hospitalized. She had her appendix removed. Everything's good. Everything's all good. But 2 weeks ago, she was complaining about abdominal pain, and so we went to the emergency room. They ran some tests. They did CT scans and all that, and she spent the night at the hospital. But then they're like, you know what? The what is it? The characteristics of appendicitis doesn't match what you have. So here's some antibiotics. It'll reduce the swelling or whatever, and then just go home. So that's what we did. Midweek, continued to start hurting, and then last weekend he's like, you know what? Let's go back to the ER because I'm just gonna get it removed. So we went back to the ER. They admitted her, and then they scheduled surgery, and she no longer has an appendix. So yeah, so that's what's been going on. She's back home. She's recovering. Just a lot of things happening. I wanted to work on the Model X 1 year video, but I just was not into it. To be honest with you, and whenever I do like videos and stuff, I want to put my effort into it, because you guys are smart, man. I'm a viewer also, and you guys could tell like I'm not up to it, and I want to bring that energy, that same energy, on every video. Like I want to be consistent, and so that's why I'm like, you know what, I just don't feel like editing, but I do want to create some content, um, and this is one of the ways that I want to do it, because no editing, no recording, just straight up stream. And not, like any mess ups. I mean, I mess up on my regular videos, but I don't really care. So um, I just want to share things, and hopefully I get feedback from y'all. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. We haven't heard anything about the Model X, the order, the plaid. I think Abby had said that the date has been moved earlier, like October, like a week earlier, because it was like end of October, and then it became like mid to late October to early December or late November. And so I was like telling her, like, you're acting like as if this is your first Tesla. We don't have a VIN number. So for those who aren't aware, if you don't have a VIN number, it means nothing. Those EDDs mean nothing. So just the VIN number is everything, at least to get you to a closer delivery date. Um, so without a VIN number, the usually the date range is about a month to 2 months. Once you get the VIN number, though, then the date range starts to shrink. They start to shrink, and it usually becomes like maybe 1 month to 3 weeks to 2 weeks. But when it hits like 2 weeks, that's when it gets really close. At least from our experience, that's what it has been. The Model X Plaid that we've ordered is gonna be our fifth Tesla that we've owned. So, but it would be our first like buyback replace Tesla. All the other ones we either currently own, or we traded it in, or we sold it. So nothing wrong with those ones. At least not as bad as the Model X. So we're still waiting on the VIN number. That's the next step anyway. The check hasn't come in yet. So I guess that's a good thing that the VIN number didn't come, because we don't want to have to like pay for the X and then the check comes in later. We'd rather use that money, get the check, deposit, and then use that money to get the new car. So that's the update for that. Um, so I was supposed to do some EV confession recordings with John and Kenneth. And in the previous video I said Keith, and my eyes always mess me up now. I'm getting really old. It's Kenneth, so I apologize. But those two gentlemen agreed to spend some time with me to do some EV confession recordings, and unfortunately, again, just time is one of those things, right? Time is just and especially what had happened recently. So but we're gonna figure something out. I mean, the good thing is I'm not in a rush, and I'm just flexible with time whenever they match up. So I'm supposed to go see John, and then Kenneth. We're gonna probably figure out Zoom or something. So hopefully it's not as bad as this first stream where I just wasted a lot of minutes in the beginning, just fumbling around. But figure something out. I don't know. What else? What else? What else? Just jump into the chat if you guys are streaming with me, or if you're watching this after the recording. If you have any questions, or jump on the chat. Probably on the next stream I'll answer it. Or if the question itself would make a good video, I will record a video about it. I've done it in the past. I think I've done a few handful, where I actually took some of the questions from people and turned it into a video because I thought it was great questions. Not to say that the other questions aren't great, but I answer them in the comments, and then if it makes for a video so I could expand on my explanation, then I'll turn it into a video. Oh, excuse me. Shout out to the Tesla tours. We've been chatting and stuff. Check out his YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. He has videos about, like, one of them, he went to rent a Model 3 and compared it to his previous Model 3. So that was pretty cool. He flew somewhere, went to rent a Model 3 from Hertz, I think, and then just compared. I think he had 2018 or 2019 Model 3, and he's comparing it to like the newer 2022 or 23. So it's pretty interesting. And then he does videos on accessories. The wheels that he just got on his new Model Y look pretty cool. So go check out his channel. It's pretty cool. Go check out the videos that he has. What else is there? Basically, there was a question. Actually, I've gotten this question a few times, and I didn't know how to answer it. Well, I answered it, but then I wanted to elaborate, but then I'm like, eh. So I usually get the question, like, what do I do for a living? And then, cause I mean, like, how many people have a Model X and a Model Y or multiple Teslas? So been fortunate enough to be able to get those cars, but we're not what you think we are. I mean, we're just hardworking people like everybody else, and so we're just been blessed and fortunate. But to expand on what I do, so I answered the question. I am a software engineer, and so, like, what is that? So basically, there's actually many terms to what software engineers. You could call them developers, you could call them coders, you could call them I don't know, programmers. So I just use that term software engineer because to me, in my point of view, what it means and what I do is, so I develop software on the web. So the platform is like their browser based online applications, and with the database backend. And so why not call yourself a developer? Why not call yourself a coder? So this is just my opinion and the reason why I use the term software engineer. So developers develop, coders code, and I think, in my opinion, that's all they do. So they write the code, but that's it. So a software engineer, they go beyond just writing the code. They have to go to meetings. They have to go, um, you know, take requirements from the client. Pretty much create the entire solution for the client. Whereas developers, they get these requirements and they go with it. They write the code, they take care of it, and all that stuff. So what an engineer would have to do, they meet with the clients and, like, okay, this is what we need. How do you go about doing it? So then what I have to do is, pretty much analyze, and then get back to them about, like, okay, well, this is how I would provide the solution. And a lot of it is basically from experience. So fortunately, new projects that come in, I've already done them before. There are times that maybe a segment or a part of that project is brand new and I've never done it, so I have to do a little bit of research, pretty much figure out, like, how to execute, the solution, how to, what tools do we need, what resources do we need, how much it would cost, how much for us to provide that solution, and then in turn, how much do we charge the client or whatever. So also, aside from writing code, I know how to manage databases. I know my way around databases. I could be a database administrator if I wanted to. Also, I manage servers. There was a term, well, there is still a term, but it's full stack development pretty much. So my employers get like a 3-in-1 deal out of me. So I know how to handle servers, I know how to handle databases, and I know how to write code. So they get a 3-in-1, 3-for-1 special. I don't get three salaries, but they get three different things out of me. But that's why, whenever someone asks, I'm a software engineer because I pretty much handle all those layers. Security also, networking. Sheesh. Yeah, but I love what I do. It's one of those things where it's kind of like it's not even a job. It's like a hobby, right? And the good thing about it is I get paid for my hobby. And so it's like athletes, like athletes, they get paid and they love what they do. So but don't don't think that that's how much I make, but I'm just comparing as far as I mean, from the looks of it, athletes look like they enjoy what they're doing and they get paid to do it. And so that's how I feel about my work. I I enjoy what I do, so I don't even consider it a job. It's like a hobby, and I get paid to do it. So if someone were to ask me what the best job is, that would be my definition. Like, working and doing what you like, and you get paid for it. It's just like icing on the cake. It's pretty dope. The only thing that I can complain about is the commute. So on the rough days, which has been lately, one way trip to my work is almost 2 hours and sometimes 2 hours. So round trip, I'm looking at 3.5 to 4 hours when I commute. That's the only thing that sucks. And some of you would be like, um, you know, why won't your work let you work remotely? I mean, can't you do that remotely? Absolutely, I can. So I do work remotely twice a week. So, and it sucks to say, but because of COVID, my work allowed it. So they finally opened up and allowed remote working. But to get back to the whole Tesla thing and EV, that is one of the reasons why I ended up looking towards the EV, because I drive way too much. Oh, Ernest, you're on the chat. You're asking with Kubernetes. I am familiar with Kubernetes. So those are the management for Docker containers and stuff. But I think it's just too big. Like, it's just too clunky. So I just use Docker Compose to do my Kubernetes like activities and stuff, because I don't go like I don't need it. So I don't need to do what are those called, where you have multiple containers and oh gosh, see, this is the thing that sucks about streaming. My brain would just can't remember the words, where it's like clusters, clusters, and what is that, like when one breaks, a new container takes over. Oh gosh, I don't remember. But yeah, so I am familiar with Kubernetes. I don't use it, but I do use Docker, at least on my home network. I play around with it, um, but not in production, at least not yet. um, but yeah, where was I going? Oh yeah, so so that's why I started looking at EVs. So John says the last week or two freeways. Yes. Um, John, it's back to school. It's back to school, really. But it's just getting worse. It's just getting worse. So usually like September, October time, like right now, traffic's bad just because it's back to school. And then Kind of sucks to say that after a few months, when the some students drop out, the traffic does get a little better, but the traffic is still there. So I've been doing that commute for 20 years. 20 years. So the pattern remains the same. It just gets worse. So and then it starts to pick up again. The traffic starts to get worse again around January, like February, because that's second semester. So people enroll again, and some people have to drop out, and that, I mean, kind of sucks to say, but that helps traffic a little bit. Some lives happen to some people and they end up dropping out, but it does improve traffic. um, so previously, I was driving when I first started doing that commute. I had a Civic, and I've been saying that I want to do these videos about the cars that I've owned. I'm splitting it up in, like, I have it all planned, but it's just the doing it is the thing I'm trying to figure out. But just little bit of a preview. When I started doing that commute, I drove a Civic. It's a 2000 Honda Civic. Um, I'm Asian, rice rocket. It's all fixed up, body kitted, lowered everything. And so then I started going. I got this job. It's like right out of college, and I'm like, okay, I'm making some change now. Right out of college, and I'm still driving this thing, and the people I work with, got ties and everything, and I'm coming in with the exhaust and fast and furious, so I'm like, you know what, let me save a couple of bucks. And I've been eyeing on, I think, what was the cars that I was eyeing on? So at that time, it was between an Acura TL. It was the third generation, so it's the brand new look. The Infiniti G35 sedan, and I think the Lexus IS 350. Those are the cars that I wanted to that I was looking at, and they were all um, you know around 40,000, mid 30s to mid 45, out of college. Like, I think I was 24 years old, and like this was my goal. This was my goal, because I have to drive that anyway, and might as well drive in style, right? Might as well drive comfortably. And I really wanted to just upgrade, because the people I work with, again, they got ties, and I'm rolling in a rice rocket. So it's time to upgrade. It's time to upgrade, right? Move up. And so what I eventually ended up with was the no, yeah, 2004 Acura TL. At that time, they didn't have the Type S. They only had one. And that was actually on the like low on my list, because the TLs that I was seeing was the second gen. They were all boxy, and I'm like, man, that ain't for me. And I didn't realize the third gen just came out. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is tight. I gotta get this. I gotta get this. Um, so pretty much, I saved up some money. I think I dropped like 12 grand as a down payment. That was like my first car that I bought. The Civic. I don't want to get into the story, but the Civic, my parents bought me because I had a hand me down from my mom and got into an accident. Wasn't my fault. And when it was totaled, and so I needed a car, so they helped me out and got me the Honda. They co-signed it, and then you know, but the Acura TL was the first car I bought. Like, it was all me. It was all me, and I didn't ask for any help. No cosign. So I took on the loan. I took on the financing. I At that time, I think my credit was pretty good, because when you first started college, and I don't know if college was like this now, but But man, so I started in community college at 18, and the first thing they do, first day of school, is they have all these tables out on campus, and they try to get you to sign up for, this was 97, and they try to get you to sign up for crap. So it's like, oh, because there was no cell phones back then. To use a payphone, you need a phone card, and if you sign up for this phone card, it's a Sprint phone card, you get a free T-shirt. And I'm like, free T-shirt? Where do I sign? Little did I know, I was signing up for like a credit card for payphones. So, um, pretty much the whole like quad area just filled with tables where they like freshmen in college, like sign up, you get free this, free that. And so I signed up, and I got into, I think within that first year I accumulated about 10 grand in debt of credit cards. So by the time I graduated college, I think my credit was pretty good. It took me a good couple years to get out of it. But yeah, they dang man, like freshmen in college, that's what they do. That's what they do. I don't know if they still do that. Where you start college, and all these credit card companies just come and try to get you on it. So I think my loan at that time was 4.9%. 4.9%. I'm like 24, 23. First car, and the car itself was 34,000, and then after taxes and everything, it was right above like 41, like 41. And I didn't know how to buy a car. I just like, look, y'all got a silver Acura TL? Cool. I'm gonna come by. Let me know, what the numbers look like and stuff. That's what I did, and I had my friend Ronnie at that time. He had a blue Focus, really nice Focus. Um, it looks stock, but if you try to mess with him, he will. It's a really nice Focus. It's a very fast Focus. Not one of the fastest, but for what it looks, it does pretty good. And so he dropped me off to go pick up the car. So shout out to you, Ronnie. But let's see what else happened. Yeah, so that $12,000 down for a $41,000 car, like that's with taxes, registration, and all that. 4.99%, I think. Monthly payment was like, I think four, like four and a half, like 450 a month. And so at that time, I didn't have a place. I stayed with my parents. So I really didn't have any like large bills, right? And I just the student loans. Man, I got so many stories to share with you guys. Hopefully, I don't go rambling on. But so I had the only big loan I got was student loans for college, and I think my minimum payment was like 117. Guess how much I put? I did the minimum, and it took me 17 years. Oh my god! I know some of you are just gonna clown me on the comments. 17 years to pay off the student loans. Am I tripping on the whole loan forgiveness? No, because it felt good paying off my student loan, even though my dumb butt took 17 years to pay off. So the banks loved me. But yeah, so 450 a month was easy to do with a new job. I was making decent money. So I was doing exactly what I was doing now, just in a different department. Um, and so, but what I ended up starting to do was, whenever I have bills, I tend to pay more than the minimum, except for except for my student loan. I don't know, like I just wanted that thing to linger because the minimum was so low, I guess, that I could just ignore it. So John says they probably start from high school now if you can co-sign with your parents. Uber, Amazon, bad things on video games. Yeah, yeah. So what was I saying? Um, oh man, this is the thing I can't do live streams. Um, so yeah, 450. Oh yeah. So I have the tendency to start paying more than what I'm supposed to. As long as I have the extra cash. And at that time I did because I just again I didn't have my own place. I stay with my folks. I call them pay rents, not parents, but pay rents because they paid my rent because I stayed with them. Um, and so I ended up paying I think $100 more a month for that car, and so I was able to kill that loan. That it's a 60-month loan, but I was able to finish it in like 44 months, I think, or 45 months. So that I got into that habit early on. Well, not early on because again, like I mentioned, I was 10 grand deep in credit card credit card debt because of college and just all those credit cards. Um, so that was one of the things. If I had to pass on, uh, I'm not gonna use the word advice, just a suggestion. If you have extra money and you got bills to pay like car loans and stuff like that, try to just knock it out as fast as you can. Don't make the banks richer. If not, it's fine because I mean you've already budgeted that car note anyway. So, but if you do have extra, even if it's like $20, you're still chiseling away off of your principal. So, but I'm not a financial advisor, but that's just what I would like to share with you guys. So that's what I had for a couple years. Actually, that car I kept, and it had 217,000 miles. Oh man, that car was nice, but maintenance was getting very expensive, very expensive. So then I got married. My wife needed a car, and I think we looked at a Prius. We looked at a Prius, and at that time, it was the tsunami, Japan tsunami, and so we couldn't buy that car invoice. It was like sticker price, and I think they even tacked on a little bit more because supply was very low because of the tsunami. They stopped making cars, or they were just I don't know. They just didn't have the inventory. So we ended up getting the Prius. That was the first time I got a taste of hybrid, but Abby drove it, and I drove the V6 to work, and it didn't make sense because I'm the one driving over 100 miles, and her work was like local. It didn't make any sense. But then she didn't want to drive the TL because it was just too big. I don't think it even had like the steering was really hard. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like the car felt heavy for her, but man, I love that car. So we kept it, and then we ended up getting minivans afterwards. But eventually, by the time I got rid of the TL, it was like 217,000 miles. Um, and I've been driving the Prius at that time because we ended up getting a Sienna. Excuse me. We ended up getting a Sienna because we ended up having our first son. Um, so she ended up driving the Sienna. I ended up taking the Prius. The TL took a back seat in the backyard. But yeah, I started driving the Prius hybrid. Man, it as far as cost is concerned, my commute, like man, I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. So loved hybrids. You know, the thing with Toyota, because we have at that time a Sienna and a Prius, so two Toyotas in the garage, and these have those keys. I did a YouTube video on it. Just search in my channel. It's a short video of me showing you that when the Prius key was no, when the Sienna key was inside in my pocket and I'm inside the Prius, because the both our Prius and Sienna are push to start, and so you need the wireless keys with you. It won't start. It won't start. So, um, hey, Electric Shock. Hey, how are you, man? Screen issue has been escalated from service to engineering team because they are unable to fix it. Most likely, they will give it back to me and wait on buyback. Well, let's go Electric Shock. Thank you for sharing an update. But how are they gonna give you that car? So backstory on this. Let me go off on a little. Electric Shock informed me that he has his Model X or Model S screen doesn't work, and so I believe he has the refresh Model S. The refresh S and X, when the screens don't work, you you can't really do much. Actually, even Model 3 and Y, if that screen don't work, you ain't seeing jack. So he was sharing with me that his screen has issues, and it is unsafe because I don't know which screen it is. Electric Shock, is it your the one in front of the steering wheel or the big one? But this has happened on I think my Model 3 once, and it's scary because you don't know how fast you're going, because the speedometer and everything is on that screen. Now, in terms of the S and the X, if the big screen doesn't work, you can't swipe in and out of gear. You can't swipe in and out of gear because it's swipe. Now there is a secondary like a selector on the right below the charging pads, because this also happened on my Model X. Actually, it happened twice. The screen went out, the big screen, um, and you can't get out. You can't drive. It's crazy. All right, so absolutely, but they can't find the root issue and don't know what to do anymore. And I said I rather have the car back than them keep it there. Okay, so you're gonna just keep the car and then wait on their feedback or result on the buyback. Yeah, hopefully they hook you up, man. Hopefully they hook you up because I mean, dude, that's crazy, man. It's like half the cars on that. Actually, most of the cars on that screen. How do you do anything? Um, I mean, they said they can't fix it, so I guess that's a good sign. But I don't know. I don't know. Ernest says Tesla just dropped the price Model Y. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that too. And then Electric Shock front screen and cluster I can shift on the center console. Yes, 2023 Model S, 9,000 miles. Ooh, you drive as much as I do. It seems like. Yeah, there is a little button below the charging. But yeah, oh man, Electric Shock, man. I hope you do get a buyback. Are you getting another Model S? Because we're getting a Model X. We're getting it again. Like the cars is dope. We love the car. We'll put up with the headache because there's just nothing like it. Um, but yeah, holy smokes! Two MCUs, three screens, one cable. That's on your Model S. That's what they did, dude. That better be a buyback. Shoot, dude. MCU. Oh my gosh. That's not Marvel Universe, ladies and gentlemen. That's the computer. Thank you for making a video on buyback. Not many out there. Thank you for the feedback. Pretty much my videos is like whatever I experience, I record. So I hope people find it helpful. Whenever I get these feedback, it does tell me. I guess there's not many out there because it doesn't happen often. So maybe that's a good sign. Or people probably are not aware that that option exists. So like I said in one of my videos, I didn't know about it until they kept seeing me back with my Model X, and one of the service advisors is like, "Dude, consider this. consider it. And so I didn't know about it, but I'm in the tech field, so that's why I'm more of like, I'm really curious as to what's wrong with this car. So go and just, take your time and figure it out, cuz I want to know. I want to know what's wrong with it. I'm not a mechanic, but Teslas are like computers with wheels. So I guess the nerd part of me was like, I want to know what's wrong. Plus, it's an opportunity to share it, because like you said, there's not that many content out there, especially Model X. So a lot of the content out there, what I've noticed is like, oh, this is the best car, this is the best car, this is great, this is great. And I'm like, yes, they are great, but man, there are caveats to why they are great. So I just wanted to not only say that the Tesla cars that we've owned are great, but here are the things that's been happening to us, and I'm sure others are also experiencing it. Let me know what you guys are experiencing. Maybe I experienced it, and just share. Um, so probably a Model X 5-seater, or if I get impatient, Model S Plaid. I think the S Plaids are more available at the moment. But yeah, the X 5-seater. Oh man, so many people are complaining about these price changes and everything. And I don't know if my friend Manu, I did a EV Confessions episode, and we talk sometimes, and he calls me a few weeks ago when the Model X prices dropped to like 89 stacks, right? 89,000. Um, and it was the Model X Plaid, and he calls me up like, dude, did you know that the Model X Plaid dropped in price? I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, dude, cause we're on the same boat. We both bought our Model Y Performance at like peak prices. His performance was like 69,000. Actually, it's probably more because he got a blue one, so he had to pay probably the same price as mine, because I stayed with white, but I got the white interior color. So we were like over 70,000 sale price on the Model Y Performance, and then after taxes and everything, that took us close to 80. And so Manu shared a different perspective on this. And damn it, Manu's like, dude, did you know that a little bit more we could have had a Model X 5-seater? And I'm like, oh my god, I never thought of that. So like 10,000 more and we would have got a Model X. Because everyone's like, oh, my Model Y, I paid more. And I'm like, dude, our Model Ys were just so up there in we were almost there for a Model X Plaid. I mean, like, I think mine after taxes was 79,000. I could have just gotten the Model X long range. So Manu, man, you put that stuff in my head, man. Come on. But I guess I'm okay with the price drops, the price changes. I'm okay. I'll be honest. I mean, it stings a little bit. It sucks. But here's how I look at it. And you're more than welcome to disagree with me. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um, what are you gonna do? What can you do? When you buy a car, you pretty much have a contract with Tesla. You're agreeing with that price, so that's number one. You can't really do anything. You skip on it now, and you go and trade it in. You're taking a huge L on that thing. So you know what? So you might as well just enjoy it. You budgeted for it, right? So and these were the posts that I saw today at the Facebook groups. People upset. Not everyone's upset, but people are upset. And so, yeah. And I'm trying to stay positive, right? Like, look, I understand. I've bought, I don't even know how many cars, maybe six or seven. Um, and yeah, it sucks that Tesla moves the prices up and down. You only take the L if you decide trade in or sell the car within 1 to 3 years. So that's number one. If you're not planning to sell, don't ruin your day by checking the trade-in value of your car. Don't ruin. It's not worth it. Why even do it? Like I was like posting on Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? Don't ruin your Friday. If you're not planning on trading it in, just don't enjoy it. These cars are fun. I've had the Model 3 long range. I've had our first Model Y is the long range 7-seater. That sucks. Then I have the Model Y Performance, which I have now. And then we had the Model X long range, which we got bought back, and we're getting the Model X Plaid. Every single one, as long as they work, as long as they work as expected, every single one was a fun car. Not only was it fun, not even was, not only is it fun to drive, man, it's like you hear people complain nonstop, at least in California, nonstop, like, oh, man, gas prices, gas prices, gas prices. And honestly, I was on that boat too, and I was driving a Prius, and I would complain about gas prices. But hey, good looking out, Electric Shock. Thank you for that. $4.99. Yeah, you're not complaining about gas prices. So think about that, right? Not only do you have a fun car to drive, at least I have fun. Most of the people I talk, if not all the people I talk to own Teslas, have fun when they drive. Enjoy the car. It's already budgeted, right? I mean, the money that you would have saved had you held off on it, like what would you do? I I would probably just wasted it. I would have probably wasted it. I'm not a goody two shoes like, oh, I'm just gonna go and invest it. No, I'm gonna keep it real. I wouldn't have invested. I should. I mean, I invest in things, but I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. Oh, good looking out, Ernest. Good looking out. Thank you, thank you. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't have invested it. Come on, man, be real. Cause if you were at that position where you're like, oh, I could have saved money, this and this and this, that mindset, that mindset, like you wouldn't have the money you would have saved. Honestly, just be honest. Be honest. Um, you wouldn't have put that to good use. You would have wasted it. I could be wrong. I'm only basing it on my personality, because I would have, let's say I would have held off. So I bought it for 69, and now it's at what, 54 or 56. Let's just say 13,000 that I would have saved, right? I probably would have taken a vacation. Okay, maybe that would have been a thing, right? But I wouldn't have put it to a use where I would have made more money. But that's what it is, right? And I've had the performance since August, end of August last year. Not only did I pay a lot more for it, I didn't get the tax credit. I That is the one I actually was a little bit more, upset about. Like, that would have helped me with my tax liability, right? So, yeah, yeah. If you're the people who bought high, like, look, you're not trading it in. Do not trade. Don't trade it in. Don't trade it in. Why trade it in? Keep the car. Enjoy the car. Man, cancel the noise. There's just so many people on social media. Like, look, man, just ignore them. Be you. Love the car. Spend time with your family, your loved ones, whatever. Take them on a road trip. Man, we go to Vegas a lot. I spend close to $50 round trip in our EV. Take a trip. Who cares about, like, look, it sucks. It sucks if you paid more. But yeah, just enjoy what you got. And some of you that I've seen, like, in real life, you may think like, oh man, this guy's like crazy, because I get excited whenever I talk to people, and we just talk. like that's how I am. So hopefully y'all don't think I'm a weirdo or something. Like, or if we're talking like online and chatting, I'm just enthusiastic. But I celebrate with you guys on your achievements, on buying new things, as if it was me that bought it. Like whenever friends or family like, hey, I got a house, I bought a house, come over for a housewarming, dude. I'd roll up and I'd just be like big smile on my face as if it was my house, because I celebrate with you guys, like as if it was me, because I'm happy that you guys were able to acquire new things, or you achieved something. But that's just how I roll. And at the same time, my wife was like telling me, what is that called, that attraction thing, the positive attraction or something like that. And I wasn't a believer, and I'm not like 100% on it, and I'm not trying to push anything on you guys. I'm just sharing stories with you all. But ever since I tried to look at the glass half full, not half empty but half full, right? Like that kind of um you know take in life. It like I'm not gonna say healthy, because damn, I'm unhealthy, but mentally I'm just hey, what's up, Jeremy? Dang, okay, I haven't seen you in a minute. What's up, Jeremy? um yeah, so like I haven't fully embraced it, but I started to do it. And mentally, I guess I'm healthier. Not physically. I'm fat. I'm a little husky, but you know, so that's how I approach things. And so whenever I see things like that, like, oh, I paid more for the car, I'm like, look, it sucks, man, but what are you gonna do? Here's a little thing. Like, maybe it could help, maybe it doesn't, but hear me out. Like, don't ruin your day. Yes, Tesla lowered the prices again. I mean, but that's the overall, like, one of the overall goals, right? Is to make electric vehicles affordable. So you're gonna get mad at the company for doing what they said they were gonna do, and at the same time, if you're concerned about the price is gonna be lower again, you're not gonna buy it. So it's one of those things. Like, if you're always gonna wait, you'll never have it. Like, look, many people will plan it out. It's a big purchase. You're gonna budget it out, and if you can afford it for that price, roll with it. Just roll with it. Don't look back and have fun. Um, so that's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, Tesla did lower the price again. Model 3 Performance is like 50K. Man, and I miss my Model 3. I miss my Model 3. But that is a heck of a deal for an awesome car, Model 3 Performance. That's why I ended up getting the Model Y Performance, because I just wanted to sit higher, but wanted the performance package on it as well. But yeah, just enjoy the car. Um, yeah, where where did I left off? But yeah, we're just having fun here. Thank you for chatting it up with me, hanging out. It's Friday, man. I don't know why you guys are home. I'm home because I'm old. So, um, but yeah, back to, let's see, where was I? So work. I work far. I commute far. Had two Priuses. Drove one of them 120,000 miles, maybe 130,000. The first one, the 2011 Prius. I think, was it a X? No, they didn't have XLE back then. It was like the mid version or whatever. I don't think it was the high end. And then we traded it in. 2016 Prius. That one I think was the top trim, or one below the top trim, not the limited, maybe the XLE. I can't remember, but I actually like that one. That one, the 2016 Prius, was nice. But yeah, hybrid, and then after that it was the Model 3. That's what I ended up getting. That was a scary purchase. Jumping in on full electric. This was end of 2019. That was a scary purchase. I did research on it, but I don't want to go too much into it because I really want to do this video about the cars that I've owned. I just wanted to mention the cars that I've had more recently. But yeah, after getting a taste of the Model 3, after getting a taste of electric, we never looked back. I think right before I bought the Model 3, we bought or we leased a Honda Odyssey Elite 2019. Just because we needed a big car. We needed a big car, and we didn't want we didn't want to go electric. At least at that time, the Model X was the only full electric that was the size of minivans. Well, you would consider it to be a big car. And at that time, we were like 100 grand. I think it was 100,000 for a Model X. We're like, dude, that's not in our price range. I mean, it was doable at that time. It was doable, but it was one of those things. Like, I think we just bought a house, and yeah, we were 1 year into our new home, and so it wasn't in our budget. That's why it was a surprise. A few years later that we ended up getting a Model X. So stars lined up, opportunity came, blessings came, and you know that's come to think of it, it's like, man, that's the most expensive car we've ever owned, and we're not like the kind of people who, it's like we can experience the what we considered luxury with a car that cost maybe cheaper, less expensive than the Model X, because we're not like I don't know, we're practical. And you're like, oh, practical, but you got a Model X. Yes, yeah, because it's an electric car. It's an electric vehicle. Um, had they had a Toyota Sienna electric, I've said this in videos before. If they had Toyota Sienna in electric, that would have been it. Between the Odyssey and the Sienna I picked every single time. At that time, the Odyssey actually had better technology, so that's why we ended up picking it up. But the Sienna, the way it looks, I prefer it. I love that car, um, but they just didn't come in electric, and so that's why we ended up getting the Model X, because it was the closest to a minivan, and it was electric, and it fit the budget. Um, very surprised when I suggested it to Abby, and then she's like, okay. I was like, okay. At that time, well, no, she didn't have the Model Y yet. She ordered it. We ordered her Model Y 7-seater, and then I think a week or two later we ordered the Model X, because we were in between at that time, but the Model X is really what she wanted, but it was a year out, so we ended up getting a Model Y 7-seater for a year and then sold it. But back to occupation. Yeah, so I love what I do, and I get paid for it, so it's kind of like, it's like a hobby. um and if I had it my way, though, like, I'd rather be a business owner. I would rather do that than work 9 to 5. But the one of the big reasons, well, two big reasons why I stay with that job. Well, three big reasons. Sorry. So number one, job stability, and no job is stable at this time. But I've been there for 20 years, so if anything were to happen, there's a nice package. Um, so job stability, insurance. So as I mentioned before, Abby had an operation, appendicitis. Without insurance, man, I don't even want to think about that hospital bill. So without insurance, That emergency room, the first time she went, I think they billed our insurance like $16,000, and I think we're responsible for 1,200. So it's still a lot of money. I don't think we met our deductible yet, so still a lot of money. So insurance, job stability, um, and I can't think of the other one. I guess just the benefits. The benefits really. That's why I put up with the commute. And I know I would probably get more challenges if I worked in the private sector. And I'm not saying that my job is like very easy, because I do get challenges from time to time. I get challenges, but it had I worked like in the private industry, I probably would be getting more interesting projects more often, um, and probably expand my experience even further. But at the same time, um, yeah, just my job's dope. Like I like it. Um, I work in the public sector, so it doesn't pay as high as I would in the private sector, but what makes up for it is the benefits. So I just have to hang in there, because the retirement packages and stuff are reasonable. So I don't have to worry about like getting any additional things to carry me over during retirement. So at some point, when you get to a certain age, like those are the things that you are concerned about. Those are the things, like when I was younger, when I first started that job, like I didn't sign up for any 401k, nothing. My coworker insisted, so shout out to him. Shout out to them. Actually, all of them were like, dude, you don't you may not need it now, but if you start now, at least it starts to build. Because I was like, how much are gonna take away from my check? Like, man. Um, so I was like, okay, what again? Like, what am I gonna do with that extra money anyway? I'm just gonna be very irresponsible about that extra money. Similar to what I've mentioned with the Model Y and the price difference and stuff. I'd probably be very irresponsible with it, even till now. Um, but yeah, so the benefits are good. Um, yeah. What did I have planned here? The chat is now quiet. So the other thing I had in mind that I wanted to talk about, just the different um, jobs, I guess, or maybe that could wait. Maybe on the next streaming episode. I think we're pushing about an hour now. Is it an hour? I don't have my timer. Oh yeah, hour and 5 minutes. Okay, I did have some technical difficulties in the beginning, but I'm just testing this out. Um, Man, I'm not getting any much feedback on Facebook. I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue to stream on Facebook. It just adds additional headaches. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so I just wanted to do this because I just had a lot of stuff in my head. I wanted to put out something. I wanted to just talk, because I do these videos to vent and just talk with y'all. So appreciate the support. Um, and for those who are catching this, not on live, but later on, if you have any questions, again, type them up. You know me. You know me. Like whenever I say, "Oh, get on the comments," I really do respond. Unlike other channels, there's like, drop a comment below, and it's like you don't hear anything. So I do my best, and that's the good thing with being a small channel. I have that luxury, where I um, just I whenever I have time, I do take the time, because I really do appreciate every single one. Like, is dope. Is dope. Thank you very much. John's asked, you're a Star Wars fan. What do you think of Ahsoka? Okay, so my kids are a bigger Star Wars fan than me. I think I got into it I was I wouldn't say a fan. I liked the movies before, but then my kids they started liking it and they are fans. My oldest one actually, he's I'm not gonna say he's an encyclopedia, but he knows a lot about the lore. And so whenever I have questions, um, he would answer them like, "Oh man, oh what's up, Jane? Hey, Austin." Um, but yeah, so my I'm watching Ahsoka with my oldest, but the thing is, he's into video games, and so he doesn't have time. Like I would have to force him. I don't know if they're as into Star Wars anymore, but he knows the lore. But when we do watch it, we love the show so far. We love the show so far, John. I think we're on episode 5. But that episode where Anakin came back, ooh, that loved it. Loved that episode. So, and they even used the same actor. Thank goodness. But so far Ahsoka's been good. I do have to ask, my son, I'm like, "Hey Aiden, like why is this happening or who is that?" So I think I'm getting on his nerves like, "Shut up, dad. I'm trying to watch." But I get into it and I want to know. So yes, for us, we love Ahsoka. Um, I think we like the Obi-Wan Kenobi more, but um, the one in between we skip. Mandalorian's dope. We love Mandalorian. And then the other one, is it Boba Fett? Boba Fett was okay. Boba Fett was okay. Um, I I wish I can pull my son out of the games more so we could watch and catch up. Um, but yeah, I like it. I like it. So are you enjoying it? Hopefully you're enjoying it as well. Um, but yeah, Ahsoka. Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. It's dope. I like it. I like it. I hope they would do another season of Obi-Wan Kenobi because we really like that one. And the Mandalorian I think is the best in my opinion out of the miniseries so far. So yeah, yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I have well on this frame you can't really see it, but on my other videos, I think. Oh, can you see it? Let me see. You kind of could see it. I got the helmets up there, stormtroopers, Tie Fighter pilot. Oh, so check this out. I got Lola. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. Lola, wake up. Lola? Oh no, it's right here. Check that out. So it's I don't know if it's called voice activated, but whenever it hears like audible tones and stuff, it it moves. So Amazon had these on sale, I think for like $20, and I'm a sucker for these. I am a sucker for these toys. But this is Lola, the droid. I can't remember from what movie or what show. I can't remember. Help me out, someone. But yeah, this is cool. I like it. Um, it moves whenever it hears voices. Hey Lola. Okay, now you're gonna make me embarrassed. Hey Lola. There you go. So yeah, it's on Amazon. It's pretty dope. And then it'll shut off like after a few minutes. But it's like voice activated or voice triggered. So yeah, those little things. Obi-Wan. Oh yeah, it's the girl, right? The little girl's droid, I think. So I'm a sucker for toys. Um, I don't know how to turn that off. It's gonna throw me off. But you could also see in the I don't know if you can see in the background, but I have Transformers. Also, I got Sound Blaster. And then my new one is Starscream. I think this is a G1 with his crown. Let me see if I could pull it out. So Starscream. Um, yeah, I'm a sucker for toys, especially stuff I grew up with. Um, the Roadster, Jane. The Roadster's in the garage. I just been so busy. It's just in the garage. I haven't found a place for it yet. But speaking of the remote control roaster, if you guys don't know, the Costco, you could buy it online now. You could buy it online. Let me see if I can switch screens real quick and show it to you. Let's see. Is that the one? Browser. All right. So Costco, we have Tesla. If you type in Tesla, there you go. So you could order these online. Looks like in my area, Wednesday, October 11th, $69.99. So if you guys don't follow me on if you don't follow me on like Instagram and stuff, because that's where I post like short form content. I went to Costco. When was it? Like couple days ago, and I went in there to buy paper towels. $20 paper towels and ended up spending 169. Why? Because the freaking roaster was there and I needed to get two. So, John, old sneakerhead here, have to buy two, right? One to rock, one to stock. One to play, one for display. So I had to get two because I want to play with one, and the other one I just keep sealed up. Yeah, so I ended up getting that, a bag of popcorn, and paper towels. 169. Damn you, Costco. You buy like three things and you're close to $200, man. Or four things, you're close to $200. But yeah, the roadster is in the garage. Oh, that sounds dope. The roadster is in the garage. But I am a sucker for toys, especially toys that like shows that I grew up with. These marketing companies, I tell you, they are smart because they target, like right now they're targeting the 80s and 90s kids because that's who we are, right? We're the ones that have the job. We're the ones that have the disposable income, right? Why don't we re-release these damn things? And do we? I mean, at least I'm a sucker for it. I end up buying. I don't know. Really bad. I sometimes have to sneak it in so that Abby doesn't see. But then, where do I? That's why I have the shed. I have the shed, so I could put my stuff. Maybe one day I'll do a tour of the shed. But yeah, I'm in technology, and so funny story. When we were at the hospital and Abby was in her room after the surgery and everything, one of the nurses was just chatting with us because whenever we're in the hospital or whatever or in a doctor's appointment, the nurses and the doctors, whenever they talk to Abby and stuff, um, they uh Optimus Prime. You know what, John? I have Optimus Prime, the Lego. I wrapped it up as a present to myself, and I haven't opened it yet. So it's like a prop because I have nowhere else to put it. But it's wrapped. It's wrapped. I'll show it to you one day. But yeah. So whenever they talk to Abby, like either at a doctor's appointment or like when she's at the hospital, they notice something because her answers are all medical, right? So, for those that don't know, Abby is a pharmacist, but before she before she became a pharmacist here, she's a doctor. She's a doctor in the Philippines. Then we got married, and then I took her here because I didn't want to live there. But we could have gone either way. We could have stayed there, or move here. She figured the kids would have our future kids at that time would have better lives here. So she was like, yeah, let's just go to America. I'm like, but you're a doctor there. And I was hoping to just be a soccer dad. She's like, no, we're going there. So she's a doctor in the Philippines. She's a radiologist, but her pre med is pharmacy. So she spoke to some of her friends, classmates who ended up continuing their practice here. And pretty much all of them were discouraging her from doing so if she wanted to start a family, and we wanted to start a family. And so she's like, you know what? Then I'm not gonna continue my practice. And then 700, yeah, that Optimus Prime, that transform, that's dope. 700 is a little too much though. But yeah. um so she decided to just do the pharmacy because we wanted to start a family. But anyway, so the nurses and doctors who she always talks to and stuff would pick up on it because the way she responds to questions is like someone in the medical field. So they would be like, "Oh, um are you in the medical field?" Because and she's like, "Oh, I'm a pharmacist." And they're like, "Oh, okay, so that's why you know about doses. That's why you know about side effects. That's why." Because when she was there, she was even saying, "You know what? Don't Can you not give me that pain medication, but just give me this instead?" That kind of thing. And so sometimes the nurse would have to contact the doctor to get approval and stuff. But then that's why they're like, "How do you know all that?" So she's like, "I'm a pharmacist." And then it's like, "No, no, because you know more than that." She's like, "Oh yeah, I used to be a doctor, or like I was practicing in the Philippines, and now she's a pharmacist." So, and then they look at me and like, "Oh, are you a doctor too?" And I'm like, "No, hell no, nope." Um, and so he's like, "Oh, so where are you?" I'm like, "I'm not in the medical field. I'm in tech." So this one particular nurse, this is the first time it ever happened to me, and I was very impressed. Um, so when I said I'm in tech, the next question she asked, and I was very impressed, is software, and I said yes, and I was like, wow, because usually when I say, "Oh, I'm in the tech industry," "Oh, so you could fix my computer." That's like right away, right off the bat, that's what they would say. Even if I say, "Oh, I'm a programmer," or "I'm a software engineer," "Oh, so you could go fix my computer." And so if you want to frustrate a software person, um, you know, say that. Say that. If they tell you, "Oh, I'm in the tech industry," or I'm a software developer, it's like, "Oh, so you know how to fix computers." It's just a joke in our field, because everyone thinks like when you say tech, there's only one type of person, IT, right? So technology is just like any other field. Like in the medical field, you have doctors. There's different specialties. You don't go to what is it, a foot doctor if you injured your head, right? You go to the head doctor, a headologist, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they're called, but they have doctors have specialties. Nurses have different specialties. Every field has their own different specialties, and so that's how it is in the tech field too. We're not all just IT people that fix computers. But fun fact, that's where I started in my tech career, is in IT. I did fix hardware, and then I know how to manage networks and stuff. Um, but at some point, it got boring to me. Not to say that it was easy, but it was more of like, okay, well, if this is happening to the computer, well, here are the steps. It's always the same steps. You just go through step 1 through 8 or whatever to troubleshoot, and that's what I mean by boring. So it's not like I can't really use my imagination. If it's a virus, there's just an easy way to do that. If your hard drive gets corrupted, there's ways to try to save your data. If the computer doesn't boot up, the steps are always the same. And I mean, it's great. I'm able to fix things. I like to fix things, but it got boring in a sense that I can't, like, that's it. It's written for you, right? The troubleshooting is already written out. I mean the common problems anyway, not the more complex problems. There's different steps to it, and so that's why I decided to get into the software side. I could have went and continued with become a network engineer, but it wasn't fun for me. And then there was some concepts that I just couldn't get a good grasp on it, and so I was like, nah, I'm good, I'm good. And I didn't like Linux or Unix at that time. Not like now. I like Linux now. But I'm pretty sure if I liked like Linux and Unix back then, I probably would have continued to networking. But I ended up going with software development, software engineer, computer science, because when when a project is given to me or I take on a project, I get to use my imagination to provide a solution. Um, if I could dig dig deep into the experiences that I've had with previous projects. I could take pieces here, pieces there, or I would like Google things up. Yes, we Google too. Tech people Google too because we don't have everything in here. We don't memorize stuff. So, but I'm able to just pick parts and like provide a custom solution. It's not always that step 1 through 8 solution. That's why I like the software side, and that's why I got out of IT. Um, but do I miss it? No, because if I could only pan my camera, this shed. I think inside this shed I have one, two, three desktops, um, and then like two laptops. I got a server rack there, but it has networking equipment. There's two servers actually, two server racks there that I don't turn on because they're loud. They're loud. So actually five computers, two laptops, nice equipment, very nice like toys. I like playing with them. So the IT part of me I still do, but I only do it in a smaller scale. I do it at home, but it does help me stay on my toes with hardware. So I got a buddy Jeff who doesn't watch my videos. Jeff, come on, man, give me some love. But Jeff is a network engineer. I've known him for years, um, and so like we would have all these like little jokes and stuff like, "You got money?" Because that would mean if every time he calls me up and say, "You got money," I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go." He found a good deal on a server. He found a good deal, and these aren't new servers. We play with well, I play with old like decommissioned enterprise servers, so they're on a discount. But I just like to play with them, and that's I also learn from them. So I like buying toys, computer toys. Um, yeah, like the old stuff like Transformers. What else? Just toys that my parents didn't buy me. Maybe I'm just here's my revenge, mom and dad. You never bought it for me, so now I'm gonna buy it. And then my kids would look at me like, "Why are you buying toys?" So now they're at that age where they're all digital. So I guess the good thing about that is, um, there's I'm not gonna say less things all over the place because they still have old toys, but they're easier to manage. The physical things isn't growing anymore because everything is digital. So I guess that's a good thing. But now I'm the one hoarding the toys. Like whenever, you know, they're Legos. They used to like Legos, but now I think I'm the only one that buys like that. I like. I'm the only one that likes Legos, and I think I use them as an excuse to buy sets. So like I mentioned, I got Optimus Prime Lego, the Ecto 1. Is it the Ecto 1 or the Ghostbuster Firehouse? I think it's Ecto 1. Ecto 1 Ghostbusters, their station wagon, Lego. A couple of Star Wars one, I think an ATST. I know I have a man. But yeah, not even open because I don't know where to put them. And if Abby sees them, oh man, she's gonna be pissed. So what I ended up doing is I just wrap them up. So during Christmas, I just have stuff under the tree, and it's like two Sherwin from Sherwin. Oh boy, oh boy, I got stories, man. So I just like sharing it, like as if we're in a little barbecue in the backyard. These are the things that talk about and stuff. So just chime in when you can on the chat. So I'm having fun. Hopefully y'all having fun. Damn, I've been talking for almost an hour and a half. My goodness. Um, but yeah, like this is me. Like what you see on the video is me, and I got more stuff to share for you guys. And from 600 to where I'm at, I think I'm at like 653, 54. Like dang man, I'm like that's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. um so I don't know, like I started doing these videos back in 2008 or 2009. And in the back of my head, I'm like, man, if I would have kept with it, what would it be? Where would I be? I just got tired. I got tired of it. But now I found a content that I could share. Because I've been frustrated, frustrated with Tesla. It all came about. I really wasn't gonna do. I wasn't gonna do this, but as soon as I started getting problems with no, no, John, Abby does not. I think she watches some, like a few minutes. See, that's why I could talk smack. I could talk smack without without getting worried. Oh man, I'm having too much fun. No, she doesn't watch the videos, but but some of her friends do, and sometimes they do mention it, and then she just have this surprised look, like, "What? You did what?" So yeah, I buy a lot of toys. Don't say anything. um, but yeah. So that I just it's just stuff that I grow when I was growing up, like I just couldn't buy. So I started working at 15. I started working at 15 because like my parents provided what I needed, but they didn't give me what I wanted. And that's fine. It's cool. I'm like, no resentment. I think it's good that they did that. Because I appreciate things more. Maybe it's borderline materialistic, but I'm not really a materialistic person. But yeah, I started working at 15. My first job was McDonald's, and at that time, I was I think a sophomore or a junior in high school. So I could only work part time, and at that time, hourly rate was $4.25, ladies and gentlemen, at McDonald's. So this is Married with Children, He-Man Woman Haters Club. Oh, they might hear us. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But yeah, I worked at McDonald's. I think it was maximum I could work was 20 hours a week and $4.25. I came suited up. I came suited up, man. So I like people looked at me weird going into the interview. I had a tie. I mean, not suited up with like man, you know what? Maybe I did wear a jacket. I know I wore a tie and a long sleeve shirt. I may have worn my dad's jacket. I don't remember. All I know is Flintstones Water Buffalo Club. Oh man. Yeah, all I know is I was overdressed because the people at McDonald's working just looked at me weird. But look, like you just gotta set the standards, right? You gotta just set the standard. Like I had to psych myself out. Like the job, even though it was McDonald's, it was important. It was important. Like um, but yeah, at 15, I started work because I wanted to buy things. I wanted to buy things. Since you're still on the chat, John, and you mentioned about like, oh, he collects shoes or whatever. So how I got into shoes. So in eighth grade, in eighth grade, I seventh and eighth grade, I went to Catholic school. I went to a private school, and even though we wore uniforms, man, these kids, my classmates, man, they got money. Um, I don't know how my parents were able to afford. I didn't even need to go to private school, but they sent me anyway, and my brother. And so even though we wore uniforms, the shoe game back then, you knew the handful of people. This was like 92, 93. Shoe game was on point. Everybody had the Jordans, the Barclays, the Agassi. My friend was into tennis. Shout out to Robert. I don't think he watches, but shout out to you, man. He's into tennis, so he would have the Andre Agassis. I didn't even know the dude. I don't know who Andre Agassi was, but he had tennis, like tennis shoes, actual tennis shoes. Shoe game was on point. And come eighth grade, back to school eighth grade, I was telling my mom, like, man, I gotta come. Can you buy me some Jordans? I think at that time it was Jordan 6. Jordan was it? It was either Jordan 6 or Jordan 7. Um, and so he's like, oh, okay, okay, okay. So first day of school comes, and I break out the shoe box. She bought me Air Jordache. Air Jordache. So they weren't Jordans, they were Jordache from, I think, like Payless Shoe Stores or something. So I had to wear them. I had to wear them. Uh, and they look like the Jordan 6s, the breads, black and red. Why after all these years I still remember it. It hurt a little bit, but what doesn't destroy me only makes me stronger, right? There's a lot of times like that happen during my life, so that's why I could laugh at things a lot, because what else can you do? So I came into school, man, like Air Jordache, and then the other kids had the real Jordans, and man, we would compare, and I would just be just. I took a verbal beating. They would just make fun and stuff. So I was like, man, I can't believe my mom bought me these, but I had to wear the Air Jordache for the entire school year. Like my mom wasn't gonna buy me, you know. And so it's like, why did she buy? I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe she thinks that a kid at that age shouldn't be wearing. I think at that time they were like $90 because I didn't wear men's size yet in eighth grade. Um, and so yeah, she didn't buy them for me. I think, did she eventually did? No, no, no. It was many years later. I remember the first Jordans that my mom bought me. First real Jordans was the 13 Jordan 13 black and red. Um, so this is the sneakerhead part of me telling the story. I'm not in the shoe game anymore. It's not the same. I'm into I'm into other things. I'm into computer stuff. That's my new shoe. But yeah, I mean, there was just certain things that I went through in life that triggered the way I am later on. And so that's why I wanted to work early at 15, because there was just things I wanted. I was in high school, man. You had to just man, my closet game was not good. It was indoor swap meet. It was indoor swap meet. Why am I sharing you these stories? Because like what I'm showing you now in my videos may portray that, like, oh, these guys, this guy or this family is just well off, like they got a Model X, Model Y, whatever, whatever, whatever. Like, no, it's never always been like that. We we work for everything. I cannot be given things. I cannot be given things. Um, that's because that's how I grew up. Like when I want something, I'm gonna go get it. That's why I ended up working early. And that's why I'm just sharing, because again, like, I'm just a normal person. I'm telling you, like, don't let things fool you, like stuff that like I share. I'm your neighbor, man. I'm your old classmates, that's me. Like, I'm here, I'm one just a regular person, um that's fortunate and blessed, and I'm still hungry, and I want to continue to keep it moving. But yeah, like those are the stories that just I laugh at nowadays. But that like that's where I came from, I guess. I don't know. Like, my closet game in high school was indoor swap meet. Indoor swap meet. I had the pants I wore were like the bright colored ones, and they weren't even cross colors or anything. They were like no name brand. I had like maroon pants. Like, there were jeans. There were jeans, right? And they were jeans, and they're maroon, and I had green ones too. Like, I don't know why my mom just didn't buy me regular jeans. Why did you not buy me regular blue jeans, um but those were what she bought me from the indoor swap meet. I had like flannel shirts that matched. I had the pattern, maroon and gray, and I would wear the maroon jeans with that. And what shoes did I have back then? Oh, I don't even remember what I had. I think I just had regular Nikes or something, um, or Reeboks. Yeah, but yeah, but yeah, we were pretty simple. Jane, I started working at 15 too. Chinese fast food. $5 and dang baller. Okay, okay. So, um, yeah. So that's where that's what I went through, and I don't regret it. I I don't I don't know if I want to say I don't promote it. Like, oh, you should, if you have kids, put them in the same thing. Like, I don't know. But again, it's like that's what made me what I am today. I appreciate um everything that I have. I appreciate you guys. That's why like whenever I talk to y'all, I always say like, oh, I appreciate the feedback, like just things like that, because I don't take things for granted, because of just my growing up, right? So been very fortunate. Like, I learned how to hustle. Not like, um like, maybe there's a negative connotation to hustle, but pretty much like, look, if I want something, if I need something, or if my family needs something, I find a way. There is a way. That's always been like the attitude of things. If we can't get it now, oh, best believe we're gonna get it though. We're gonna get it. So that's like where how I approach things. And that's because of how I grew up. I could laugh about it now, and yeah, I don't know. It's just it's just great reminiscing. I don't know, like, I'm just going off the top of my head. Nothing's written down, but it's just I got tons of stories, and I love how you guys are responding to, and you guys also work with the minimum wage at $5, 4.25. Right now it's like 15 something, man. That's just crazy. And I think sooner or later fast food is gonna go up to $20 an hour. So, but yeah, things are just more expensive. But yeah, indoor swap meet. I upgraded, right? So I got the job. Then I moved up. I bought Jinko pants, the baggy pants, man. This was like Junior year, I think, senior year. So I moved up. I didn't get any of the Ben Davis stuff. That wasn't me, but I was baggy pants, hoodie, Jinko, Jinko, members only jacket. The joke is you're the only member. What else was there? I didn't get into. Let's see what else. Eniche. So I was moving up. I was moving up. I had a job. Triple Five Soul. Um, bum equipment. I even rocked bum equipment. So you know. So back then, Champion. So this is funny too. So Champion back then was like, you know, poor people brand because it was inexpensive. That stuff you could buy like at Walmart. Even the indoor swap meet had them. And now it's like champion gear is like expensive, so that always bugs me. Not bugs me, but bugs me out. Like I trip on that. Like man, if y'all only knew, you know what champion was back then. Nobody wore it. I mean, people wore it, but you know. It's like because everyone else wore Nike, Reebok, Fila, um, so it's like a 180. It's a trip. It's a trip. So yeah, so McDonald's, and then I worked. I ended up working at the mall. I ended up working at the mall. My next job, I quit McDonald's, and my next job was the athlete's foot. So this is where you know more of the shoe game comes. Um, I ended up working at the athlete's foot. So the athlete's foot, if y'all don't know, is a shoe store. Man, I am showing my age, but I know Jane, John, you guys you guys probably know this. Um, yeah, so I worked there. I did stock, so I just restocked stuff. I didn't do sales. The athlete's foot back then were very serious with shoppers. Back then, a lot of the runners uh, were their clients. A lot of serious runners would go to the athlete's foot. They wouldn't go to Foot Locker. They wouldn't go to the other stores. Finish Line, I don't think existed yet. Um, Champs, was Champs around? I don't. Maybe it was because I think there was only three shoe stores back then. The athlete's foot, um, Foot Locker, and I think Champs. And so the serious runners would go to the athlete's foot. Why? Because the people that work there know their stuff. And so before I could work the floor, before I could become a sales associate, because I just stocked shoes. Um, so fun fact, if you look at shoe labels, there's numbers on the bottom. I don't even know if they still have them because it's been a while since I bought shoes. But there's three groups of numbers. I'm giving you behind the scenes if you guys are not aware. Sneakers, shoes. There's three sets of numbers on the barcode. Um, Usually on Nikes, it starts with three digits, space, and then I think six or eight numbers, and then space, three numbers, I think. The first three numbers is the class number. So class number means it's what sport does it belong to, right? So if it's a running shoe, if it's a walking shoe, if it's a basketball shoe, if it's a cross training, if it's volleyball, so there's three numbers, and so that classifies as what those shoes are for. The next number, this is for Nike, by the way. I can't remember if, like Adidas or Reebok, but they have their own numbering system. The second set of numbers is I guess it's the model. So like Jordans, each model has a number, and then the third set of numbers is the color. So I think the class for basketball is like 012 or something like that. Don't ask me why I still remember, but I could be wrong. Um, but yeah, so you have class number, you have I guess style number, and then you have the color. So they have three sets. And when we were stocking them in the back, that's how we know where to put them in. We go by class, and then we go by the style number and then the color. So I started working at the Athlete's Foot. I think I was making 475. I was making 475 an hour. Stocking. It's either 450 or 475. Started working at the mall, and then they had to train me before I got on the floor because I had to know what I'm selling, because the customers that would come in, they're serious. There's athletes. They're marathon runners. They're joggers. It's mainly runners, right? They're pretty serious with that stuff. So they had to teach me about pronation, under pronation, over pronation. So basically, like how your feet when you walk, some people are flat footed, some people over pronate, and the way you could tell is if you look at the bottom of your shoe, if the outer edge is wearing, you're over pronating. If you're under pronating, the inner part of your sole on the exterior is a lot of wear. It's kind of like tires in a car. um, so you're under pronating. So they have certain shoes that either correct or improve if you're that type of a runner. There's also, if you're flat footed, there's specific shoes. If you have a high arch, they have specific shoes. Running shoes used to come, I don't know if they still do, they used to come with arch. It's like it's foam. I don't know if you want to call it arch support, because it's not really support, but what it does is, well, I guess it is. It just fills in that gap if you have a high arch, and the shoe is flat. So you're gonna hurt your feet as you're running because your arch is high and it's like going down. You're forcing it to go down to be flat. So they have these little inserts that go under the insole to make it rise, so that your arch would rest right above the insole. So yeah, like that's really where, like, the I don't know, the love for sneakers, but the interest in sneakers expanded. Um, it was interesting, and I got to talk to a lot of interesting people. Like, there was a person there that ran marathons all over the world, so that was pretty cool. And then we would get we would get Japanese customers. So whenever and they love Air Maxes. This was 1990. What year is it? 96, 95, 95, 96, 97. So if you know about shoes, 95, 96, 97 was like the golden era for running shoes. Not really to run in them, but for apparel, for just wearing, like, the style during those years was the golden years, because you have your Air Max 95s, your Air Max 1s, Air Max 97s. This was before, like, the Tune Air and stuff. But yeah, anyway, Japan at that time, I don't think Nike was selling in Japan. You had to import them. So we would get Japanese customers. They would ignore Jordan releases, and back then Jordan releases was nothing. People ignored them because only the serious ones would buy Jordans. So there was always stock left months later. There was no line, whatever, right? So they would actually ignore the Jordan releases. What they were there for were the running shoes, the Air Maxes, the Tailwinds. Ooh, classic. And because Japan didn't have, they didn't sell Nike. You had to import them. So they would fly from Japan, and they barely spoke English. And the first time I see this happen was this blew my mind. The dude breaks out a list, gives it to my manager, and then he just nods and pretty much starts taking shoes from the back to the front. They have big boxes ready to go, and they would buy, man, like 20, 30, 40 pairs of shoes, and they would take them back to Japan and resell them. This was the first time I've ever seen $1 million credit card. You're gonna probably ask, what's $1 million credit card? That's the limit. That's the credit card limit. And on the top, it's a black card, and it just says $1 million right on top. I don't know what bank, um, like gave it to him or whatever. Um, but that's what they used to buy the shoes, and that was the first time I've ever seen a black card and then $1 million. And so when they left, my manager explained, that whole thing, and like I was blown away. I was like, dang, that's crazy. So they would spend, I mean, if they would buy like 30, 30, 40 shoes at about 150 each. My math is bad right now because it's getting late, but you're looking at $8,000-$10,000 for that transaction, and we would be set. Our sales goal would be set for like, I think, 2 weeks. But yeah, so it started sucking for our local customers, our serious runners, because the Japanese customers would get the high end running shoes, and there would be, what would be left are like I guess the I'm not gonna say mediocre, but just the lower, not even the lower end, but just because there were still like the Air Max Triax, like $90. The Tailwinds, no, the Tailwinds they took, but the options weren't really there. Although the good thing though, now I remember. So the good thing is the Japanese buyers would buy the smaller size, 6.5 to 8.5 or 9. That's it. They don't go above, like they don't do 10s or 11s, 12, nothing. So the runners that would come to us would have the larger size, so they were okay. The people that were affected were who had the smaller feet. So yeah, it sucked for them. But yeah, so obvious reasons why the Japanese buyer would only get the smaller shoe size, because that's what they wear. 6.5 to about 9.5. Nothing beyond that. So they would just take all of those. So we would make our sales goals for like pretty much the couple weeks to maybe the entire month. But they don't come often. They come whenever there's a release, really. And the releases don't happen often back then. I think like Air Maxes would come out once or twice, and they're just different colors a year. Not like nowadays there's just like 20, 30 different colors. But yeah, so that was the athlete's foot. Yeah, so I have more stories about the mall stuff. I had jobs at the mall, other shoe stores. I worked at a music place, music place. But I could share that another time. Man, we're breaking into 2 hours. I think I'm gonna cut it off. Thank you very much, everyone that joined in the live stream. Electric Shock, John, Jane, Ernest. Am I missing anyone else? Jeremy. Jeremy's my cousin. Man, this is like the first video he ever came up on. But thank you. um, Thank you very much for joining me. I needed to do this. I just needed to let out some not frustration, but I just needed to talk. And it's just hard as adults now, like just schedules just don't match up. So I use this forum to just talk, whether I'm talking to someone or I'm just talking to the camera. So that's why I appreciate you guys hopping on. Hopefully we could continue with more live streams and more people come. And I hope you guys enjoy and get to learn more about me and just get to reminisce. And also probably better explain. And this camera is like right here. I should be looking at it. So I apologize if I don't look at the camera straight and I'm looking elsewhere. A lot of distractions. ADD much? I don't know. But yeah, so hopefully that explains how I look at things, why I say things in my videos. But yeah, I just like to reminisce, and it's great that some of you guys experience something similar. So that's great. I think there's a huge lag on the chat too, so I don't know what the lag time difference is when I'm reading the messages and then respond. So I gotta figure that out. I'm still new to this. I did stream before, but I was just streaming video games on Facebook, I think. So that's really about it. I'm working on the Model X 1 year thing. I'm still working on it. I don't know when it's gonna be out. Apologies for the delay, but yeah, I just have to be in a certain mood to do it. So I did record stuff. I need to add more stuff to it, um, or I may have to just redo it. It would suck if I had to redo it because I actually was in the Model X before the night before we um, not traded in, but surrendered. So it is kind of sentimental, that video. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. And for those who are watching later, man, I don't know if you guys are gonna stick to 2 hours, but thank you for watching. Just comment below, and I'll address it. Hopefully, it doesn't hide itself. But yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like the video or if you like the stream, like the stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. How do I stop?